Good day to all ladies and gentlemen and welcome to my art studio. My name is Khan and today we are going to create everybody's favorite superhero, Superman. And also this is the requested video by my dear friend Anthony. Superman is one of close to my heart character and I really had a hard time while making it and I am dying to share my experience with you guys. So since this is a requested video, so I have some limitation and less control over the character. So without wasting any more time, let's draw that. Alright, so first thing first, I start with some reference images. Even though my friend wants his Superman to be like a Christopher Reeve version of Superman and adjust his face on top of it. And he also wants a super classy kind of look. But I will see and make changes according to his face cut and all. I will also add muscle definition which he doesn't want, but I will do it anyway. So here you can see I am creating an armature with the 9 gauge 3mm Aluminium Craft Wire. And also my friend wants me to make his model as huge as possible. But I can go only 12 inches in height due to my oven size. So after I done with the armature, I am covering the middle part with the aluminum foil paper. Even though it's not necessary, but if you want to save some clay, so just go ahead. After that, I will cover the whole armature with the heavy duty clay, which is Craftsmart. This clay is very durable when it comes to work on a large size model. So I finished covering the clay. Now I am gonna bake this thing for at least 60 minutes at temperature of 300 Fahrenheit. After the baking, I start building some muscle definition according to my model perspective. After your basic mass definition is done, bake your model again at 240 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Right after that, I start working on a chest part and you have to be very precise about that part. So take your time and make it proper and decent. And now the abdomen part, and keep this thing in your mind. This is just a rough model at this point because what I am trying to achieve here is some more muscles definition, and later we will cover the entire model with a thin sheet of clay to blend everything nicely together, just like we do with the muscle suit. So the same thing I am doing with the torso and the legs, and after I'm going to bake my model again for more convenience. After the baking, I will do the same thing on the back as we did on front. The hip and torso part could be very tricky and challenging, so make sure you don't lift too much, otherwise it will look odd. As the other option, you don't have to worry about the back part at all, cause we gonna cover the whole thing with the cape. But personally, I'm so picky and honest with my work and passion, so I will try to make the whole thing proper as much as possible. So I baked the whole thing again and now I am working on bicep and triceps. And make sure you follow the right muscle fiber and topologies. And after that, I start working on a lower arm and the legs. And again, just follow the right muscle's direction. Another thing I would like to mention here is that this way of doing modeling is only for those who are really into this hobby. Even though I can make this entire model just in one piece without any breakouts, but you guys not gonna get anything from it. I mean, it will look cool to watch a video, but you're not gonna learn anything from it. That's why I take my time and make my model step by step, baking my model again and again, just for you guys so you can learn something out of it. And trust me, if you follow this method, anyone, literally anyone can make models like a pro. Only if you are really into this hobby. Otherwise, just enjoy my video. So after all that, I am giving my model a basic feed and later just blend it. Also make sure your model can stand on its feet properly and perfectly balanced by its own. And after that, I applied super glue on each joint cause this model is gonna be heavy as hell, and plus it has a cape too. And by doing that, your model will be secure from future cracks. So my main structure is almost done, and now I'm gonna put my main clay on top of my structure. The clay I'm using for the main skin is FIMO. FIMO clay is the best of the best, especially when it comes for the finishing and solid modeling. But in the same time, it's a bit costly. Anyways, so for applying the clay on the structure, you have two options. First, just take a small part of clay and try to spread it all over, which I'm doing it here. Second, just roll the clay and make a thin sheet and apply directly on the structure or where you want it to cover, which I will do on the upper body later. Either way works really good. It's just a matter of time and practice, or which method you are comfortable with. So I baked the model to preserve my last work, and now I have to do some sanding. And that is the problem with method number 1 of applying the clay on the model, that it won't give you the finishing and smooth look. You gotta do some sanding, and trust me, sanding on polymer clay is so easy and at the same time it's super fun. So when you're done with the sanding, apply some clay finishing oil and leave it to dry. It will only take 30 minutes to dry. So after the oil dries, I'm gonna move forward with hands. I also want to make two different style of hands. One is closed palm and the second is just open hand. I'm gonna skip this part in this video cause I already done it in my previous videos. So go and check it out later. But still, I like to mention one thing here. Making hands are a little bit complicated, especially when you are making a naked hand. The gloved hands are kinda easy to make, but with the naked hand, you need some patience and have some practice as well. So after that, I'm gonna attach my hand to the model with the help of super glue. You also need some scraping to do on your wrist area for the blending all together. So as you can see, it's perfectly blended and it looks like in one piece. After that, I'm gonna move forward with face. So for that, I'm using this face silicone molds to get the basic face feature. And by the way, the clay I'm using for face is of course FIMO skin color clay. Even though that silicone mold will give you only a basic face shape, and then you gotta do so much sculpting on top of it. And also the real challenge is for me to make a real human face because my friend requested me, so I had to do it. My real plan was just go with some basic face like kinda cartoony. Anyway, so I asked my friend to send me left and front face pic of him so I can get the better idea. And also, this is my very first time of doing real face modeling, so it was really challenging for me. However, I tried my best. Now I'm gonna attach the head on my model with the super glue and then blend it everything together with the clay. And I will do the same thing as we did previously, that I'm gonna get some basic muscle definition and then cover it up with the thin sheet of clay. So after I bake my model, I'm creating the hair template. So just to get the idea and will be easy for me to work around. Making an hair also very challenging. So again, have some patience and take your time while doing this. Alright, so finally, I'm gonna make the hairs. And making the hair is so easy. Just follow the template and spread a very thin layer of clay around it. And then just create some straight line texture into it or any style of hair pattern you want. After that, apply some more clay to create more hair layers. Even though my friend has a very short hair, but I decided to give my model a little bit longer and kind of different style of hair. And I think that was the biggest mistake that I made with this character. Even though I was quite happy with the final look, but as soon as I start editing this video, I kinda sorta disappointed by that. But what can I do now? Exactly, nothing. But my friend was happy, so that's all matter for me now. So after the hair, I baked my model again, and soon after I gave my model's face a very light thin coat of skin color paint just to remove old dirt and all. And now finally I'm gonna cover the upper body this time, as I told you that I'm gonna do with thin sheet of clay. So here I am using cornstarch for the clay to get a little softened and allows the clay to spread without sticking on anything. Before you put your clay on the model, apply a very little amount of clay oil. In that way, clay stick very well. Here I am very delighted with the clay and using soft finger only. When the clay set on the model, remove the excess clay for better handling and you will get the better idea. Then after that, Use a very soft brush with a very little clay oil and try to blend it very softly without any force. And all the detail will come out automatically. Same thing I am doing on back, and again, don't rush, take your time and do step by step. And after front and back got covered, bake your model for 10 minutes at 240 Fahrenheit. And then after, I'm gonna do the same thing on bicep and tricep. And that's how it looks after the baking. So after that, I am giving my model a light coat of paint. In that way, I can get the fabric kind of texture, and also it will cover all of my imperfection that mistakenly happened. The paint I'm using are acrylic paints by Rich Art. These paints are so great and super affordable, and also heat friendly. It will also give your model a little shine to it. However, it's not necessary. Here I am just doing some extra effort to give my model a little life into it. And you notice that I am just tapping my brush on the model and not to run back and forth because I don't want any brush stroke on my model. Like I just said, I just want some fabric texture. So that's how it looks when you're done with the painting and your paint's all dry. And I must say that I love the whole effect. Making the underwear is also so easy. And again, working on a pre-baked model is super easy and super efficient. And you will get a finished final product. So here I baked my model again and giving a very light coat of red paint. As you can see how easy it is to working on a pre-baked model. You have so much freedom and you can simply move your clay around. And same thing I'm doing with the boots. So this time I decided to take a small part of clay and spread it all around, like we did with the legs and all. Creating the emblem is also so easy. Even though my real plan was just go with the printout, but somehow I decided to make with the clay. But it all turned out pretty well. And also I'm doing this on a pre-baked model, so there was no problem. After the background layer and the outline complete, I baked my model for 10 minutes at 240 Fahrenheit, just to make it easy for myself and I can easily continue working on. So once you finish with the chest emblem, bake your model again to secure everything up. Alright, so after that I'm gonna divert my attention on the face. And to be very honest, I was kind of afraid of doing anything on the face. But of course I had to do it. So I slowly start working on it. I also have all the main reference images, but again, This is my very first time of doing a real face modeling, even though it did not turn out the way it should be, but still. So the next step is probably the hardest one. I really had a hard time making it, which is the cape. I thought it will be much easier, but it's not. So first of all, I roll the clay and make it into the thin sheet. And the clay I'm using is no doubt FIMO. So what I did here is just place my sheet of the clay over the model and set into the needed place. And also I'm not worrying about the gaps and the tears cause I'm gonna fix it later. So after the baking, I start building some more detailing like wrinkles and fold-ups. So here you can take a clear look how the cape turned out. It may look simple and easy to make, but believe me, this step building is pain in the butt. And this is also my third attempt. So after that, I sand the whole cape to remove the bumps and the imperfection. I also use some clay oil to soften the clay. After the sanding, again I'm giving my cape a paint job to blend everything nicely, but this time I'm using the foam brush instead of the regular one. Next step, to make a stand for my model. So I decided to go with the traditional way, which is the Superman emblem stand. So I cut out the emblem and transferred it over the clay. So here I am using the oven base tray and simply trace the emblem. So here I create two pieces of emblem. One is the full logo and the second one is just the base emblem. Then I give my stand a light coat of acrylic black paint. I also secure all the edges with the duct tape. And then I place my model and fix it with the super glue. Right after that, I start working on a back emblem, but this time I go with the hand paint. So take your time cause there is no way to go back. I mean there is, but you gotta start from the beginning. I also add some extra details for the final touch. So in the very last, I'm gonna do some shading on my model. So for that, I'm using this eyeshadows palette that comes in various colors and shades. First, I'm gonna do some shading on the face, but make sure you go with easy on this one cause it's really hard to remove these shades. So I am very gentle with this. You can also use the airbrush for the shading, but I'm not comfortable with that. Plus, this is very small scale model, so I don't think there is any need for airbrush. And also this step of shading is very important because it will refine all the details and give you another level of look and feel. I know you cannot see the results on these shots, but when you see in the final shot, you will see the big difference. So at the end, I'm gonna conceal all the hard work that we just did, like paint and shades, with the Mud Podge acrylic sealer and let it dry for a few minutes and your Superman ready to take off. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos. And if you have any question and any request, please comment down below. I would love to follow that up. And also you will find all the details about this project in the description box below. And for the daily update, please follow me on Instagram and Facebook. So until my next video, bye bye.